All right, guys. So as you all know, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, is an absolute mess. The guy has been accused of all sorts of abuse. He's apparently a horrific alcoholic who used to drink on the job. He's got all these far-right white nationalist tattoos, Christian crusader tattoos. He was a weekend Fox News host, and since Trump's a fucking moron, he sees somebody he likes on TV and he tries to bring them in and run the country. And so he was picked for defense secretary, and now he's reaping what he sowed. So look at this. There is a complete meltdown in the building. Pentagon reportedly in chaos as Hegseth loses 4 staffers in one day. That seems like a lot of staffers to lose in a day. So here's what they say. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is losing his chief of staff, Joe Casper, in the coming days, according to a report published by Politico on Friday night. Casper will remain with the agency. However, 3 other defense aides who were put on leave earlier this week were terminated on Friday, according to sources granted anonymity by Politico. Those 3, who were reportedly on leave in connection with an ongoing leak investigation, were Senior Advisor Dan Caldwell, Hegseth Deputy Chief of Staff Darren Selnick, and Colin Carroll, who was Chief of Staff to the Deputy Secretary of Defense. 2 sources told Politico that Carroll and Selnick intended to sue for wrongful termination. The Pentagon has been beset by a series of leaks in recent weeks, including the disclosure of hypothetical military plans for the Panama Canal. We covered that. U.S. carrier movement in the Middle East, and the halting of intelligence gathering on behalf of Ukraine, and a briefing at the Pentagon with Elon Musk. The shakeup comes as Hegseth was at the center of a scandal involving a group chat with government officials on Signal, an encrypted messaging app last month. Last month, Hegseth shared forthcoming plans for airstrikes on Houthi rebel targets in Yemen with more than a dozen officials in the chat, to which National Security Advisor Michael Waltz accidentally added Atlantic Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg. So that was a huge deal. By the way, before I continue with this article, let me just show you this. Hegseth said to have shared attack details in second Signal chat. The defense secretary sent sensitive information about strikes in Yemen to an encrypted group chat that included his wife and brother, people familiar with the matter. He's got multiple Signal chats where he's spreading the most highly classified information imaginable casually. By the way, just so you know, Signal is not approved for this sorts of stuff anyway, right? He's sending it to people who have no right to have it, but even if he was, that's still not approved. You're not supposed to use Signal. There are official government channels that you use, and he's not using them. I mean, this is ripe. I mean, spies are having a fucking field day under this guy. One senior Pentagon official told Politico that Casper had clashed with the aides who had been fired. Joe didn't like those guys, the official said. They'll all have different styles. They just didn't get along. It was a personality clash. Another defense official said the agency is in turmoil. Quote, "There's a complete meltdown in the building, and this is really reflecting on the secretary's leadership," the other senior defense official said. Pete Hegseth has surrounded himself with some people who don't have his interests at heart. Yet another official predicted there probably will be more chaos. The front office has some really first-rate uniformed military staff, but there's only so much they can pick up in an organization that big, said one former Trump administration official. That kind of dysfunction compounds. Hegseth was confirmed by 51. Okay, anyway, you know the rest of that stuff. So there's going to be more bombshell stories that come out soon. This is another thing that we just learned as a result of the main article. There's going to be more bombshell things that come out. The other thing is they claim, hey, the people that we let go, they were the ones who were leaking the information that was getting to the media. Well, it turns out they've come out and said, that's not true at all. I didn't leak fucking anything to anybody. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then Hegseth goes, we'll give them a polygraph test to see if they're telling the truth. And they're like, bet, let's do that. I'm down. I didn't fucking leak anything to anybody. And then Hegseth goes, oh, never mind. You're fired anyway. What? So look, we don't know what's really going on here, the specifics, but my guess is I think it's ideological. Because I know one of the people that was let go was a member of the Quincy Institute. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Quincy Institute is sort of like an anti-war think tank, right? And there were a few of those people apparently snuck in under the radar because obviously Hegseth is a colossal warmonger, and so he wouldn't want those people there anyway. But snuck in under the radar and didn't like all the plans that were happening, whether it be Panama or Iran or Mexico, all these war plans that they're trying. War plans that, Trump didn't say dick about war with all these countries on the campaign trail. He just didn't. Half the time he did say pro-war things, but the extent to which he's looking to do it is way far above and beyond what was ever said. Right? He never mentioned Greenland on the campaign trail. He never mentioned fucking Panama on the campaign trail. And so it looks like it might be ideological, where they're like, these people are getting in our way if we want to do these illegal wars. Man, that shit is dark, bro. That shit is super, super dark. So now there's really, there's speculation that he might actually be let go by Trump because he's a little bit more trouble than he's worth at the moment. The other thing is, look, I have a new theory. You know how we discussed this in a video we did the other day, but they didn't end up invoking the Insurrection Act on April 20th, which we were really terrified they would because of all the evidence that was piling up, that the plans were all there. Trump signed an executive order. Hey, in 90 days, I'm going to decide whether or not to invoke the Insurrection Act and declare martial law over the border. So we went through all that evidence, and I was pretty convinced he's going to fucking do it. Well, we just got news they're actually not going to do it, right? Hegseth and Noam, what was it, CNN or the Associated Press, somebody got the scoop that they're not going to do it for now. They're not going to do it. Well, reading this story, what this tells me is maybe this was a big fight also behind the scenes, and they're letting go the people who were like, yeah, don't do that, right? Or now we know he's so immensely incompetent, he can't do anything right that he couldn't get his ducks in the row to get to the point where they can invoke the Insurrection Act because they don't have the organizational capability and the leadership to be able to do it. The guy's not a leader. The guy doesn't know how to fucking organize anything, right? So that's another possibility looking at this. Maybe there was some massive disagreement over invoking the Insurrection Act and doing martial law. But whatever the hell's going on, they're a fucking mess. 2 separate times you get caught having highly classified information spread on an app where it's not approved to be sent, and you had a journalist in the first one and you got your family in the fucking second one. By the way, it was Hegseth who set up a meeting with Elon Musk and the Chinese delegation, a foreign policy meeting with Elon Musk and the Chinese delegation. And when Trump caught wind of that, he went, what the fuck is Elon doing? What is Hegseth doing? No, we're canceling that. When you make Trump, who gives you guys a lot of fucking leeway, go, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's got to be on thin ice, dog. He's got to be on thin ice right now. Because this is a fucking clusterfuck beyond our wildest imaginations. And remember, the whole reason this guy's really in this position, Trump saw him on TV, and he got into politics by being a pro-war advocate. The only reason that anybody knows his name today is because he got his ass on Fox News because he was a pro-Iraq war activist, a pro-war activist. So he can't get out of there fucking quickly enough, man. He can't. He's got to go. He's got to fucking go. But I guess in a weird roundabout way, we should maybe be thanking our lucky stars at the moment because maybe it's because of his incompetence that they couldn't get their shit together enough to declare the Insurrection Act and invoke martial law, right? If your leadership is this disorganized, they can't fucking get it done, right? So maybe you should stay. If that's how we're thinking, maybe you should stay. But Pentagon in complete and utter meltdown. That's wild. All right, guys, that's the show, y'all. I love y'all very much. You know the drill. Everybody, please click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who tips on YouTube. Thank you to everybody who supports Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. And also, as I keep pointing out now every show, go on over to Corin's World, the YouTube channel, and click subscribe because we're dropping the Kyle and Corin podcast over there. And if you guys want to keep seeing the Kyle and Corin podcast, it's over on the Corin's World YouTube channel, so go subscribe to that too. All right, guys, I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.